and still the #1 of my favorite shows so far this season has just got to be Joker Game, because oh my god, this is everything I wanted in a show. This is literally everything I wanted in a show for so goddamn long. It's so good, and I can't believe as well, from like a lot of people I've been hearing about, it's like they're not checking out the show. They're like, you know, watch it, or like, it's like, I know it isn't no like the action stuff that we're getting thrown this year, but I love the fucking like all the playing and sneaking and diving and the war setting and the fucking betrayal and the tricks. It's like, I love this shit. This is why I eat up Conan like I do. Like, this is why Case Closed remains to be the best fucking detective thing, period, on this thing. It's like, Joker Game, like, just puts the setting, puts the, like, characters, and just puts the badass OSTs and, like, animation all into just perfect sense. Now, I've got to say, one thing I did really love about this episode, like, straight up and all that, is like, yeah, we got that little bit of the recap and all that, and I think a lot of people are going to be pissed. It's like, oh, that was a really long recap. And it's like, for a show like this, where you're like, you need these kind of like recaps in your head and all that. You know, because especially when it's very like technical. I can't believe I'm praising a recap. But it's like, especially for a show like this is what it should be. So like, oh, here's what happened last time in the episode, because there's a lot of shit that went on in the first episode. And it's like, okay, maybe you might need to catch back up on that stuff. And I love that the main guy and all that, like Sakuma, I believe his name was. All that shit that he was doing, like that, he was ready to fucking, you know, do the fucking seppuku, and comes up, and I swear to god, that guy that their like houses they're invading, he just looks like fucking Jason from Tokyo Ghoul. It's like, he's like, oh, I've never seen an execution before. Oh, I can't wait. Like that. I'm like, I don't know why he sounds like that, like, from it, but it's like, okay. Like, that's the situation that he's gonna go into, and it's like, I mean, just the D agency and just the entire general, like, just, I love it. It's just so fucking good. One thing I can say, though, is just, like, the only negative I could say is, like, boy, oh boy, did the fucking, like, the main character's voice just did not fucking, like, that's a guy that does not fluently speak that language. He does not. He's like, Secondo da Imperio, like, I felt so bad. I'm like, this guy clearly doesn't know it, like, while the other guy, like, they clearly knows the language, and I'm like, that's, yeah, I'm sorry, man, like, that you had to do that, because that must mean hard and all that, but Sakuma, he was like, yo, like, it was really bad, like, that's, like, and it's such a thing, I have to give them props and all that to it, because, especially if the Japanese voice actors and all that, English is near some of the most impossible shit to pronounce and all that, because of how we use words and, like, parts of the language differently, and it's like, especially when you got the accent, it is fucking hard. And they finally, like, all the stuff that they wanted to find. And here's the even better part of it, is like, when they go back, he's like, oh, I'm going back to the military, dude, and, you know, report this shit out. He's like, yeah, we found all the secret, like, information stuff, by the way. And it's like, you found out, yeah, this is why, like, you know, why we were going in there, because he fucked up. He didn't want anything to, like, be on his, like, actual record saying, like, oh no, a promotion could go, or something worse like that. So he had the D agency trying to use them and saying, hey, you check this out, not reporting in the first one about it. And it was like, by the way, motherfuckers, like that, this is what's gonna happen to this shit. They go in, and it's like, oh, by the way, and all that, we got the evidence, by the way, leader. We didn't take it back with us, and we like, and saying like, oh, we've got, you know, the guy, we got this Jason motherfucker back at the D agency, but we're making use of him as being a double spy. He's like, are you fucking serious? Are you serious right now? Are you fucking glad? This is a guy trying to get a one-way over me and all that, and then he pulls some other shit on him where he was like, oh, by the way, leaking this shit out to people for, like, geishas and stuff like that, that ain't cool, bro. Like, whispering it into his ear, so he also caught him, and I was like, you motherfucker, you thrown his cup and everything, so you piece of shit, like that, you're on their side, and he's like, no, I'm just liaison, like that, I'm just, you know, like, just come from, like, just telling you, doing their orders and stuff, and reporting back to you, and I'm like, this motherfucker just got him right in his fingers, right in his arms, and he's, like, acted all cool and collected about it, and I loved it that the old man, like, I forget his fucking name, but what the best part of the episode is literally what to do with him, and it's like literally how he managed to get Yuki, I believe his name was, how he does shit around there as he, like, trains them. what he fucking did is that he got the information that he was leaking to the geishas because he was there, and he was the one that like picked up like the little cigarette, like little casing that he had, that little silver casing that he had, and it was like, this motherfucker, like what he does is that he fakes the entire way how he walks, the cane, the hat, like the way he does, or the limb is all fake, and it takes like, or like it focuses everyone's attention on like this, on his glove, on his walk, everything on that side, while they don't focus on his left-handed side because he's got a prosthetic like arm there, and he was like, I'm just making a guess, but I'm taking you lost out during a mission, like that's like probably a fuck up you did. And he was just like, he didn't say nothing, but you knew, you fucking knew. So it's like, there's something with this character, there's something that obviously he doesn't want to let on, like saying like what's going on here. And I love that. It's like, you put the pieces together. You don't need a character just saying, yes, I did this, or yeah, like that. Just see what's going happening and like that. And just like, one of it, so it's like, you could definitely see how thematic they were trying to be with the show. Is like, when you say like, now do you see all spies as cowards now? Because I believe the other guy as well, like Miyoshi, like gave him some praise as well in the episode. He's like, to be fair, if they ever thought you was going to fucking stab yourself, you thought they were just going to trap you in there, and that would have been it. But the best part, like, I keep saying that because there's so many good parts to this episode. I love it. Like, there's so much goodness to it. Where it was like, where he was like, now you see us all as cowards, and he walks by, and then he's like in the flower petals, and then obviously disappearing, and it's so obvious what that's supposed to like insinuate. And with the soldiers passing by as well, it's like, do you want to go back to this life, the light, like the realm of light, like that, in the where everything is all bright and happy, and it's like, that's the stuff you got to worry about, or do you want to come with fucking us? No words needed to be spoke, of course, like true gentlemen, about that situation. He knew about that. He was like, you know, I maybe like being a spy as a coward, but being a man and all that, that's being used as a sacrificial pawn is the worst thing. So he's like, I walk out of that bright light of the sakura petals, and I go into the darkness of the D agency like that. I was like, that right there, that's fucking storytelling. That's how you use fucking animation, because you don't just need to have characters go and then it's like, oh, a sick action scene. You just need stuff like that, and I fucking love that. And it's like, this is the most underrated show this season. Like, no motherfuckers talk about it. I feel like I'm the only guy that talks about the show. I don't even think people really talked about it even on the first fucking episode like that. So I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, what the fuck's going on here? Overall, I loved it like that. I definitely think like the first episode, maybe it was just because I was so into the noir grim stuff of that. Like, I was digging all the smoking in the bar and like all this like card games and shit like that. Obviously playing some poker. They weren't playing no fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Although that would have been fucking meta during the like the fucking 80s and stuff like that. But even still, it's a blast. It's something new. It's something fresh. And that's the sad thing about it, is that it has to be new and fresh by going back to the old. Like, that's the sad part of it. I love it. I generally love it. I think this is the most underrated show of the season. One of them. If it's going to be in a top 3 favourite of this year, which might be a video or something like that, in the future, definitely would put this on here as well. This definitely be one of the shows I'd recommend to people to watch, and it's so good. So good. Like 8, 9, like that. I wouldn't give them 10 out of 10s like that. I think that like as a 2-parter of an episode, I think it's fucking fantastic. I don't think like these are masterpieces though, like where you put a 10 out of 10 is like fucking perfect. Like where they'll put some stuff like that where I fucking think it's, you know, completely perfect. I think it's like 5 chapter and all that. But to be a 2-parter, I think that's fucking fantastic as well. I think that's real good. I'm looking forward to see if they can really keep up this quality, because so far they've all been 8s and 9s. That's how good it is. And I'm like, keep this up, Joker Game, and you could be the highlight of the season. Like, not just the season, but of the year. If you can just keep this mystery, grim, like, you know, like noir stuff, and then you've got me on like a fucking fish on a hook. Like, you have got me. You've given me the bait. I'm taking the bite. But the question is, can you keep me long enough on that reel, long enough to keep me intrigued? I do want to keep talking more about this show, guys. It's not really one of those shows you do talk about like that. Like, I can maybe see that's why people don't really talk about it. It's like, that we'll have to see. If it's like so good and exciting every week and all that, then I will keep talking about it. But other than that, that's all I can really say, like, about this episode. It's good. It's just fucking good. That's like the only thing I can say about this show. It's just good. I like it. It's fucking great. So there you go. So from me, if you love Joker Game as much as I do, then you leave that like and you leave that subscribe and your comment and everything else and all that to show. I'm looking, like, the only thing that could improve this is you get a solid dub. You get a fucking sick dub. That's all I want. I want some Cowboy Bebop on this shit like that. I want some of that on this, like, fucking quality and all that. But that's all from me. So I've been your host, Savagezweipanda, and I'll catch you guys next time.